Good day, folks. This is my first impressions review of the GoPro Hero 8 Black. I will be making a full in-depth review in a couple weeks once I've had a good amount of time to use it in real-world situations. But in the meantime, I have been using it for 3 or 4 days and I have come up with some opinions on it, both good and bad. As you can see here, I've been making a ton of notes as I've been working along, and for the most part, I'm actually quite pleased with it. So let's just jump right in and get at it. So the GoPro Hero 8 Black is probably the first GoPro that I've been excited about in quite some time. Now for me there was a couple reasons for that, and the first reason is that there's no more frame on it. I really like that idea. It does come with some negatives and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But also the big thing is all these new mods that are coming, and I know a lot of people are pretty excited about them. They've got a media mod that has a built-in shotgun microphone. It also has a 3.5mm jack, so you can plug whatever microphone in that you do so wish. It also has cold shoe mounts on it, so you can attach things like lights, which is another mod that's coming. GoPro is releasing their own GoPro branded light. The other mod is a flip-up screen, so if you're going to be doing any kind of vlogging, you'll be able to see yourself a little easier. At first, when GoPro introduced the Hero 8 Black and the new mods, I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it. When you take a look at something like the Osmo Action, it already has a built-in screen at the front. You don't have to pay any extra for it. But not everybody uses the front screen on the Osmo Action, so there it's kind of a waste. With the way GoPro's doing it, you just add them on if that's something that you think is going to be beneficial to you. And for the most part, I think they're priced pretty reasonably. GoPro tends to inflate their prices, I find, on a lot of their accessories, but I was actually kind of surprised at how they price these new mods. And if you're a GoPro Plus subscriber, you're going to get them at half price, which makes them actually a really good deal. Now, I'm not going to really talk too much more about them because they're not available till December, so we'll just keep it to the GoPro Hero 8 Black for now. So let's talk about some of the physical changes and what I like and don't like. Like I've already stated, I like how these new finger mounts are built into the GoPro. I find it's going to save a lot of time and a lot of headaches, not having to mount it in and out of a frame all the time. Every time you want to pull the memory card out to upload footage, if that's how you do it, or you got to put a new memory card in, or you need to change the battery, taking it out of the frame all the time can be kind of tedious. Now, the biggest concern that I've read and people commenting on my channel and other channels is that they're worried that these are going to break off. And that very well may happen. It's too early to tell how durable those fingers are going to be, but GoPro does sell replacement finger mounts. You can see there's 4 little screws in there, so it's just a matter of taking 4 screws out and you could put a whole new setup in there. The only downside to not using the frame is that you are losing that little bit of extra protection around it. Older GoPros, when mounted in a frame, your front screen and your back screen are fully exposed, but if it happens to break free from where it's mounted or you happen to drop it and it lands on the frame, you do have that little bit of extra protection depending on how it falls. With a frameless GoPro, all the damage is going to be concentrated to the body. The frames you could replace fairly inexpensively if it does get a lot of damage. Again, it's too early to tell how that's going to play out. Now, one big problem that the Hero 8 Black that many people have already voiced their concerns over is that it no longer has a removable lens protector. On the Hero 5, 6, and 7 Black, you could just twist it off and replace it if it ever became damaged. With the Hero 8 Black, it's now built in and there's no really easy way to replace it. If you happen to damage it, you're going to have to send it back to GoPro. That could be costly, and not to mention that it's going to be gone while it's out being repaired and you're not able to use it. I'm not sure how long the repair process would take, but you got to figure it's going to be gone at least a week, maybe 2. With the GoPro Hero 5, 6, and 7, it was a pretty easy and inexpensive repair. Now, GoPro does offer their GoPro Plus plan. That means if you happen to damage it, you can send it off to be repaired. I do believe there is still a fee to have a camera replaced. It may not be as much money as if you don't have the Plus plan. However, your camera is still going to be gone while it's off being repaired. So I really don't know the reasoning behind that, and honestly, in the next generation, I do hope that they reverse that decision. If you are going to be upgrading to the Hero 8 Black, you can purchase those little thin screen protectors, the little pieces of glass that go over it. It won't protect it against a really hard impact, but it will prevent it from getting scratched. Now, the next physical attribute of the GoPro Hero 8 Black that is quite different is everything is concealed under one door now. They've moved the battery from the bottom to the side. You can see that we can lift the door open. We have our USB Type-C port, we have our battery, and memory card all under one door. This door is removable, and that's where it can be kind of dicey. If you're a moto vlogger, or you use your GoPro plugged into a power bank, as you can see now, everything is fully exposed. If you're filming in dusty environments, you're going to be getting dust and all kinds of debris in all these ports and openings. So that's not an ideal situation, and I did mention in my unboxing video about maybe a third-party manufacturer will come up with a new door that actually has an opening for the USB-C port, maybe with some rubber seals around it to keep it weatherproof. I actually reached out to a third-party manufacturer that I know makes GoPro products, and they said that they did have actually one in development already. So it's just a matter of time before we see a third-party replacement door that's better suited for those types of situations. One nice touch that they did add is that you can see now there's a red marker there, so you always know when your door is ajar. That was one problem with the Hero 5, 6, and 7 Black. If those doors weren't shut 100%, there was really no way to know it, but now you can see visually when the battery latch is not locked. So that's pretty well all I have to say about the new form factor. It is a little bit larger than the Hero 5, 6, and 7 Black, but when you take into account that it no longer has a frame, it actually is about the same size, maybe a tad bit smaller. Now, one thing I have noticed with the Hero 8 Black, and I'm not going to comment too much on it because I haven't done enough testing on it, but when I'm charging it, I notice it does get extremely hot. Now, my Hero 7 Black gets a little warm, but not as hot as the Hero 8 when charging. When I was doing some 4K recording the other day, again, it got really hot. It seemed to be a little bit hotter than my Hero 7 Black. Now, that's a common issue with GoPros, especially when recording in 4K. They do get quite warm. I haven't had a problem with it. I am going to be doing some more tests with it, and I'll definitely be updating that in my full review video in a couple weeks. Now, a couple people on my channel have mentioned that the screen is actually quite small on the back. You can see there's a lot of real estate that GoPro could work with. Some people would like a larger screen, including myself. For some people, that's not an issue at all. They don't really use the screen on it. Having a larger screen would be nice, but it would come at a cost. The larger the screen is, the more power it's going to draw, so it will deplete your batteries quicker. So I think for two reasons, GoPro's decided to keep it that small. First of all, to save battery power, and also to keep costs down. They never raised the price this year, and adding a bigger screen will inflate the price. And by the looks of it, the media mod will solve that issue. If you want a bigger screen, I think it's going to be a lot bigger than the built-in screen. Now, going back to the form factor for a minute, I forgot to mention this. Sometimes it's nice to get a new look and a new design, but the downside to having a new form factor is that it's not going to be compatible with some of the gear we already own. For example, the new GoPro will not work in the Karma Grip. If you own the Karma Grip stabilizer, it just won't fit in there anymore. I haven't tested some of the other stabilizers yet, but I have a feeling it's going to have a big problem in them as well. Now, as you can see here, we do have a new battery with the GoPro Hero 8 Black. It has this blue end. I'm not really sure what the difference is. GoPro states that if you do have batteries from the Hero 5, 6, or 7 Black, they are compatible with the Hero 8. There are, however, some shooting modes where these new batteries do perform better. Now, personally, I haven't done any battery testing yet, and I will be covering that more in detail with my full review. Now, they've made a lot of design tweaks to the menu. Actually, I really like the way it's laid out. A lot of the features that I use regularly are now at my fingertips. But not only that, with the new Hero 8 menu, you can actually customize what buttons are laid out where. First of all, we can change what type of photo we're taking just by hitting that button. But we can easily take that slider and put it on HDR, standard, or raw. Having that right at your fingertips without having to go deep into a menu is actually quite handy. And over here we can change our field of view. We can click on that button there and you can see we have another slider. That's GoPro's new digital lenses, as they call it. You can see they're even labeled 16 to 34 millimeter. But you can see here we can adjust our field of view quite easy right from that main menu. Now, another nice new feature are presets. You can see here we're in photo mode. If we click on it, down below it's going to give us some default presets. These are ones that ship with your GoPro. Now you can click that little pencil icon and go into any one of those presets and adjust their attributes. For example, let's go into photo. You can see here we can set the output, we can set the lens, we can tell it if we want a timer. We can then keep scrolling down and go to our Pro Tune settings and adjust things even further. And then if we go right to the bottom, you can see here, this is where we can set what buttons are available on the screen. You can see there in the lower left of the screen right now it's set to lenses, but I can click on that and there's a little slider here, so we can then scroll through and set what we want that button to do. We can turn it right off if we so choose, but we can pick any one of these options. If I want that button to change the sharpness, I can actually do that. Each mode is very customizable. When you exit out of it, it just saves it automatically. Now the nice thing is you can create your own mode. For example, if you want to make a new photo mode that has a flat color profile, low sharpness, you can easily create that as a preset, and that way you can switch back and forth very easily. And again, you can customize what buttons you want on the screen for different tools that you need while you're filming. Now, another nice feature that you can see there that I have turned on is Gridlines. That is something that's been missing from GoPros, and I'm really glad they finally added it. And to change that, all we do is swipe down from the top. You can see here we have this new grid button, and we can just toggle it on and off as we need it. Let's look how GoPro has stabilization set up on the Hero 8. Let's go into our settings here, and I'm on cinematic, and I'm just going to hit the edit button there. So you can see here if we hit hyper smooth, we got a couple different levels of stabilization that we can film at. You can see here if we put it all the way to the bottom, we can turn hyper smooth off. We can have it just on. We can then go to high, or we can then go to boost. It gives us some information about the stabilization. For example, on boost it says maximum video stabilization with tight cropping. If we go down to high, strong video stabilization with 10% cropping. There it just says stable video with 10% cropping. So that's really nice that you can set your level of stabilization. However, they've also added a shortcut there. So right now I have it on high stabilization. But if I'm going to be filming something I want that extra layer of polish, I can just click on that boost button there, and right away boost is now enabled and I can continue filming. So since we're taking a look at the new stabilization layout, let's take a look at Hypersmooth 2.0. I uploaded a video yesterday doing a stabilization comparison of the Hero 8 Black against the Hero 7 Black. Hypersmooth 2.0 is quite incredible. It's actually quite a bit better than the original Hypersmooth on the Hero 7 Black. If you take a look at this clip here, I was doing a simple shake test, testing the stabilization of both the Hero 7 and Hero 8 Black. The Hero 7, you can see it's kind of all over the place. It's kind of bouncing up and down, side to side. But now when we play the Hero 8 clip, you can see just how smooth it is. There's some small vibrations and some movement, but that's like a night and day difference. And here it is side by side. You can see just how smooth it is. So GoPro has done a really good job with Hypersmooth 2.0. Now, for a lot of people, the Hypersmooth 2.0's capabilities is going to be enough for people to warrant the upgrade from the Hero 7 Black to the Hero 8 Black. And even for myself, if I didn't have this YouTube channel, I think Hypersmooth 2.0 would really definitely want to make me upgrade from the Hero 7 Black to the Hero 8 Black. Now, another new feature that GoPro has introduced is Time Warp 2.0. Now, during my testing, I haven't found any improvements for video quality or smoothness. Both cameras pretty well do an equal job when it comes to creating those time warp videos. However, with Time Warp 2.0, it does have a couple new features that are really handy. The first is that you can set the speed to auto, so the camera is going to decide at what speed it should record at, and that takes a lot of the guesswork out. The other feature it has now is that it has a button on there that you can just press and switch from doing a hyperlapse into real time. It kind of mimics speed ramping, and it actually is quite easy and it works quite well. If you look at this video clip here that I made, just going for a quick walk here, you can see here I just touch the button and then it goes into real time. And the nice thing is you can do that several times throughout a video. It works really well, it's super easy to use, and it can really enhance your time warp videos. Another new feature is night lapse video. When you were going to create a night lapse on a Hero 5, 6, or 7 Black, you had to do it in night lapse photo mode. That required you, when you were done, to upload all the images to a computer, then you had to assemble them into a timeline. It was very time consuming, and you actually had to have some knowledge in order for it to look good. But now they have an automated video mode with one-touch recording. You can press a button, walk away, and you can get some pretty decent results. Now, I haven't played around with it too much myself yet. I will be covering it more in my full review coming up. Now, another small but very welcome upgrade to the Hero 8 Black, you can actually set your own bitrate. And I like the idea that you can actually set it yourself. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe the bitrate on the Hero 5, 6, and 7 Black was about 76 megabits per second. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was about that approximately. What a lot of people loved about the DJI Osmo Action is that it had a bitrate of 100 megabits per second. That gives you a higher quality video. But with the GoPro Hero 8 Black, if we click on that button there, and let's go into our settings, you can see here we can change the bitrate. Right now it's set to high, and it tells us there that it's going to record at 100 megabits per second in 4K and 2.7K. But if we want, we can slide that down to use a lower bitrate. And what that's going to do is save file size. Some people would prefer that, so it's really nice that GoPro does give you that option. That high bitrate's not important for everybody. And if you're a person who does a lot of filming, these large file sizes can actually become very overwhelming. And not to mention, the higher your bitrate, the more taxing it is on your computer or laptop to edit the video files. Now, just a couple other quick important upgrades here. The Hero 8 Black now supports 1080 live streaming, and now we can also finally film in linear when in 4K. That is something huge and people have been asking for a long time. Now, for me, I like to take HDR photos, and it's one thing that is still lacking with the Hero 8 Black. I'm still hoping that we can get that maybe with a firmware update. Please, GoPro, add that. With the Osmo Action, it gives you the option to shoot bracketed photos, and it saves the bracketed photos on the memory card. Bracketed photos are for those people who like to process their own HDR images. Now, you can take HDR images with your GoPro Hero 8 Black, but it does it all by itself. It takes your different exposures, merges them all together, and renders it out the way it sees fit. But there are people who like to tweak their HDR photos and edit them the way that they like. So it would be nice if they added that feature in a future update. Well, folks, I don't want to ramble on too much more. There's still a lot of things I need to test with the GoPro Hero 8 Black, and like I said, I'm going to cover that in my full review in a couple weeks. If there's anything I've missed or there's any questions that you have, just ask me down below in the comments. I'll try my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Sometimes it's hard for me to keep up with comments and questions because usually every day I get at least over 200 to sometimes 300 comments on my Facebook, Instagram, email, and it gets a little overwhelming and I tend to get behind. But I try my best every day to answer as many questions as I can. So that's basically all I really have to say about the Hero 8 Black for now until I've had more chance to use it. I'm pretty excited about the new mods that are coming, and I do plan on ordering them as soon as they are available. So is the GoPro Hero 8 Black a worthwhile upgrade? For the most part, it all boils down to priorities and what you want out of your camera. If you see a feature that you like, then yes, maybe it is worthwhile. Definitely if you're using a Hero 4, Hero 5, even a Hero 6, there is a massive upgrade going from that generation to the Hero 8. If you've got a Hero 7, you've already got an excellent camera. There's some nice new enhancements on the Hero 8 Black, but you got to kind of justify, is it worth the cost? Now, you could always sell your Hero 7 Black to kind of put towards purchasing a new Hero 8. When it comes to the quality of the video, it's not really going to be that much different. Of course, having the higher bitrate is going to enhance things a little bit. In general, I'm really happy with it, and like I already stated, if I didn't have this YouTube channel, I think I still would have upgraded even if I had a Hero 7 Black. The biggest negatives for me is that the lens protector is not replaceable. I actually think that is actually a huge misstep on GoPro's part. I am looking forward to the GoPro Max as well, which I do have on pre-order, so it will be available sometime about mid-November, and I will be reviewing it as well. Well, folks, I would love to hear your thoughts on the Hero 8 Black. Leave them down below in the comments. Let me know if you're getting one, if you think it's worth the upgrade, or if you think it's just a big waste of money. I want to thank you for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.